just don't know. I don't know. I'm looking, yeah.
Wow. Marc Clarke, that's classic. I love it.
Bootsy Vegas, what is going on, my brother?
Hello, sir. Looking like money over there. It's a whole green thing around you. It's like a money glow around you right now.
A money glow and Bootsy. Yes, in about an hour or so, I'll make my debut on Fox 45 in Baltimore. Lord Jesus, won't he do it? Won't he, she, her, they do it? Come on now.
We back.
Bootsy Vegas, again, you gotta tell it, man. You supported me in DC every day. I knew you were watching. I knew you had my back, and I'm so excited about today. And again, it's a soft launch, Bootsy. It's a soft launch. They didn't really promote it and stuff. Just kind of easing the big boy back in.
Yeah, I can hear the humility in your voice as you speak it, Mark. Yeah, I got it.
Just easing me back in. Just easing me back in.
Hey, yeah. Okay, we're gonna walk it out. I got you.
So, Bootsy, I was thinking of ideas. So one of the things, back in the day, as you know, in Baltimore, Big Fat Morning Show, the parody songs were a big part of it.
Huge.
And I wanted to get your idea because, now it's 10 years later or so. My knees aren't as strong as they used to be. It's on television.
You ain't got the mega knees?
I ain't got. So, Bootsy, I was thinking, it was the breakfast flakes. Ravens. Bengals. Let's get a little background. Let's reflect a little bit. We won 3. Turn it up a little bit. We won 3. Yeah. We won 3. We won 3. Yeah. We won 3. Yeah. We won 3. Yeah. We won.
The vocals are horrible.
We won 3. Yeah. I'm happy. Yeah. So yeah, Bootsy, I'm thinking about
follow me. Hey, the original, that guy be holding them notes so long. Follow me, follow me, follow me. Anyway, okay. We are one.
So. Yay or nay, Bootsy? Bring it back or no?
I say it don't hurt to try because you never know what the response is and you never know how much people will value them. So I say you should at least try.
Sponsor tie-in, maybe.
Excuse me?
Maybe a sponsorship tie-in, right, with the Ravens.
Right. And the other thing is, what I do know, as a guy who have done them songs in the DMV and you did it in Baltimore, if they winning, people are a lot more receptive to them. If they winning,
yeah. People look forward to it. When they lose it, not so much.
Yeah, like when lose, like, you know what I mean? But let me tell you something. The greatest ride, I done had a few rides in my life. But when I took Chris Paul's place that first year, people were waiting for those songs. Like, so I'm just saying, like, I do know that it's so crazy that it's me and you having this conversation. When your team is winning, they love them. I was there doing that RG3 run. Boy, oh boy. Man. I mean, so I would say do it, bro.
So Bootsy Vegas, you too have started a new we switched up the schedule. We had some things happening in our lives.
Absolutely.
How was your first couple of days in your new life?
Amazing. We kind of moved our studio around. We got more equipment. And I have to say, man, I got some amazing kids. I don't know how I attract these kids or it's just the universe. But, I got my core group. I got my college kids. And I got like about 7 new kids. And they are dynamic. 2 of them go to Morgan State. And that's the interesting thing. And then the other ones are like 14 and 15. So we're going to be our first day tomorrow. We'll be in person. We're going to have an orientation. And then we're going to be ramping up. We got some huge guests. I Am podcast is coming. Damari Smith, the NFL Players Association, Wisdom Martin doing a Q&A, and we have Wolf Blitzer coming. So
what?
Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
You got a whole cast and crew of stars.
Oh no, it's coming. But be clear. Be clear about this one. This is no. Do you know if somebody say no cap? Do you know what that means?
Yes.
No cap, Mark. They wait for Allison to get there. them females in my class. Oh, that's great. Oh, great. Okay, cool. When Allison gets in that room, it'd be like God walked in. I'm telling you, like it's like Jesus walks in. It's a whole different vibe. So yeah, it's interesting because my young female students, you know, they always look forward to it to see their auntie. They can't wait to tell her how great they've been doing. So yeah, so I'm really excited about it. So for the next 7 weeks, that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I'm locked and loaded, trying to develop America's next wave of black journalists, my brother.
I love it. You know what's so funny, man? Allison and I we were just talking about. So now, you know, TikTok and all these kind of things are now huge players. And we were saying that we wanted to talk to you about, you know, I know you have the young people, and the young people are kind of like there were all the ideas. There were the ideas reside, if you will.
Oh, 100. Because let me tell you something. I learned something today on how they consume their news, where they get their, you'll be surprised, their number one source of news. But continue on, my brother.
Well, and I was thinking, Bootsy, maybe it needs to be a class, even if it's a seminar, and you employ a couple of the young superstars to be like, hey, you know, we'll show you the best way they'll show us old folks the best way to maximize your posts on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Oh no, they were talking about that today, my brother, and it was mind blowing. Like it was, I mean, I'm telling you, like, and I think, well, you know, I don't think you're gonna think this, and Allison, because Allison know them. These are collegiate, highly intelligent, articulate students. Man, the strategy, the way it is. So today I did a thing in my class, and I would say, out of all of my new students, every one of my students got more than 10,000 followers on IG.
What?
Like literally, you should see the numbers that they got on IG. Like literally, you should see the numbers of just in there, like how they got it. So you know what? And here's the thing: DPR had us last year sit down and tell them better ways to promote DPR programs, and they did it, and it's been working.
Wow.
Yeah. So
well, Bootsy, we might need to. I need to keep your eye on a couple students. I might need to hire for Marc Clarke Media.
Oh, let me tell you something. I already know them. I already know who they are, and you would love them.
I love it. And so also, Bootsy, I was, new at a new job, that new energy. When you're looking at, you know, that's kind of like that awkward stage when you're brand new and you got to meet new people.
Right.
And it's interesting as you get older, the energy's different because I think you kind of come in, you know more than you used to know. You know you see snares. Isn't it funny, Bootsy? Like when you get to a certain age, you already see snares and you just approach them much differently than you would have in the past.
Right.
I think you learn how to, and again, every cliche sounds cliche because it's a cliche, but It's a truth. I mean, people say pick your battles. It's so true. I get it now. Like, you know, when you're young, you're in there waging war on stuff and you look back on it, you're like, that really wasn't.
It's the way to say. I would love to know what was the first day driving into for you like? What was that mentally like? So Marc Clarke, first day after everything you've been through, we've all seen the Rivet Marc Clarke. What was the first day driving in like, Mark?
Well, what I realized was, Baltimore, Baltimore does seem like home, because for those who don't know, I did mornings in Baltimore for almost a decade. And so, but it's interesting, Bootsy, there's a total difference when you work somewhere than when you don't work there anymore. So when you work there and you got to go there, it's weird. Like it doesn't seem like a big deal. It's about, Baltimore could be 45 minutes to an hour away, right? Wherever, depending on where you're going. And I noticed when I wasn't working there, it was hard to get up the gumption to go, because there'd be somebody doing something. You'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and run over there. And you'd be like, every time it got close to go, you found yourself like,
You start thinking about that commute going and coming back. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, but then when you work there, I'm back in, you know, because I think one of the things about working there and also Bootsy, I'm realizing so many people commute, like, you know, people, I mean, in this area, in the DMV, so many people, you may live in, you know, Virginia and you work in DC or Baltimore or vice versa. There's so many people that are moving. And what I realize is one of the tricks that I use is that, you know, just already make up in your mind, it's going to be a day. It's going to be a day of it. Don't be when you try to nickel and dime it and be like, you know, I'm going to try to get out of here by blank, blank. No, sir. You know, go ahead and just be like, I know I'm going to be over here. Well, Boots, you know, it's working in radio. It's kind of like, well, you're doing those parody songs. You ain't going to knock out you know, songs in general. You're not going to go knock it out in no hour. Right. You're going to be here pretty much all night. Me and Troy used to spend the night at the radio station doing a doggone parody song because, you know, you got to get the spirit right. You got to feel right. And so I think that's what the instantly clicked is that I realized, even though this is television, yep, I'm going to be here all day. And don't even try to be, you know, trying to get out of there. Don't have no plans.
Don't plan what time you think you're going to get back home.
On the other side, you know. And so that was and then going in, it just, I realized again, I see the diamond in the rough of Baltimore.
Right.
And then like being, you know, in a media machine, you realize again, you know, when you know, it'd be like, you know, again, like you love DC. You know, it's almost like relationships. When you know the whole person,
right?
The jerk side of the person you can put up with because you know they got a sweet side to them,
right?
And I think sadly a lot of times with cities, schools, cities, neighborhoods, people know the bad side of them and they don't really explore the other side, so they don't have that caring part, and right. So it's hard because if you don't have the caring part, then you just throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not talking about anything, but I'm just saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then also, Bootsy, I think I'm just happy. I'm just happy because that journey that you witnessed and many people witnessed. And I remember just telling Allison when I was doing the TV show in DC, I kept telling her, I'm a TV guy now. I'm a TV guy now. And then, you know, we started doing the show even down here. I'm a TV guy now. And then I'm a TV guy now. Just like that, Bootsy.
Yeah. So what?
That $5 million on my bathroom, I know I got $60 in my wallet right now. That $5 million in my bathroom.
Don't worry about it. It's
coming next.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's coming next.
Yeah.
It's coming next, Bootsy. It's here already.
So, what were you thinking about in the drive-in? Like, was it a lot of emotional, or you was just ready to get to work?
Yeah, I was ready to get to work, you know, getting kind of see how it worked. It was funny. I got tricked. So the setup, I'm very familiar with the TV station, and it's very like almost like on the outside, mom and pop-ish, kind of like, you know, not as fancy as some others. But then when I got into them studios got those new robotic cameras and everything. I was like, oh, snap, okay.
Look out now.
And so it's been great. The people have been great. You know, I know a lot of people forever. Like now we got gray hairs now. You know, I remember when they were young and just getting started. Now it's 20 years later. You're like, what? You know, wow. So the experience, especially Fox 45. So again, for people who don't know, when I did mornings in Baltimore, we put the station on the air. We did live cut-ins in the 7:00 hour to the TV station. Wow. Little do you know, like, you know, I had a TV show there, the Marc Clarke show. I had Big Fat TV. I had a couple of things there, but little did you know, Bootsy, little do you know, years later, somebody told you, it's like, think about your life, Bootsy. My goodness, all you've been through. And somebody whispers in your ear, yeah, Bootsy, you're actually going to be around with the passing of Earth, Wind, and Fire, and you're going to keep the flame going with Earth, Wind, and Fire. You'd be like, what? Like when you were sitting in awe in those stations and traveling with them?
Would that be the voice that you? No, I'm sorry.
You know, they whisper Bootsy.
Oh, wow.
Bootsy Vegas.
I don't know about that voice there, Mark.
Bootsy, you're going to prepare hundreds, if not thousands, of young people to go to college. Your legacy will be forever in Washington, D.C., and there's nothing you can do about it. What?
Yeah.
And Bootsy, they said this to you right after a butt-naked session somewhere.
Wake up. You got work to do. Yeah.
Where my glasses at?
Where my clothes?
You remember when you were young and wild? Remember those days?
Oh yeah.
Why was it always hard to find your drawers? Remember that? Why was always hard to find it? You'd be like,
well, So we're talking about Baltimore. So what was the drive home like, Mark? You know what I mean?
The drive home was, again, looking at Baltimore, so I've been watching Millions. Do you watch Millions?
Dollars, you say? No.
The series Millions it's on Showtime. No. So it's about Billions. I'm sorry, it's called Billions. It's about wealthy people, and sadly, Bootsy, let me just say this. So, it's about, people in the people that run the world, right?
Right.
They run the world, Bootsy. And one of the things I would just like shaking my head because, it's weird, but you get to a certain age, these movies and these shows, Bootsy, they be giving up game, don't they? They be giving up game for real. And
right.
people that know people. They be giving up real game, and you just look at it, you're not really paying attention to it. You're just looking at it as entertainment, but they be giving up real game, right?
Absolutely.
And so, one of the things that, in Billions, based in New York and talking about, they talk about, when they have those empowerment zones,
mm-hmm.
when the developer comes in the empowerment zone, they take the tax break. They take the tax break because it's an empowerment zone to help those zones that have run down, the cities that have run down. They come in, they throw up the first line is, of course, they put some black businesses or women businesses or gay businesses, you get it all nice and prettied up. Everybody gets their little shops going. It looks beautiful. And then after 4 or 5 years, after that first run, after everybody's back in the neighborhood, it's vibrant again. They tell the residents, we're going in another direction. They bring in a Starbucks, they bring in a whatever. And when you see, that was a storyline, right?
Wow.
And so when you see it in play, it's mind blowing because it's like it goes on every day. And so I was in an event in Baltimore in an area that was a historic area, Pennsylvania Avenue, and it ran, running all the way down. I knew the brother that bought one of the buildings. He's been owning it for the last 10 years. Nobody's really coming over there. When you go to he had a building, but when you go to the event, you had to be careful because the neighborhood was kind of sketchy. Bootsy, I went in that joint. Man, they had, boom, vegan restaurant. Boom. Coffee shop. Boom. Ice cream shop. Boom. Juice shop. Yo, this is beautiful. Bootsy, people sitting outside in the sun enjoying the beautiful.
With their dogs.
People cooking outside. I was like, this is beautiful. So I talked to one of the residents, and of course, he knows how to game. You know the game. He's like, yeah, man. I know what the play is. 4 years, they're gonna come to us and kick us out. And I'm like, wow. And so, it's like the wealthy play. It's just it's not a mystery. It's not.
So that's happening in Baltimore as well. Like
it happens there. It's the template for every city. Every city, and that's why a lot of times in those blighted neighborhoods, when you be like, who owns this land? Sometimes it's hard to buy the land because they already know what the plan is in 10 years.
Yeah, and most of real estate, the plans and all that is already made 5 to 10 years in advance.
Yeah.
And most people don't realize it anyway.
And all you have to do is almost like going to the PTA meeting, going to the neighborhood meetings, going to the planning meetings. It's open to the public. Wow. So if Bootsy, in 10 years, or in 5 years that, this is going to be a blah, 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 then why not start planning for that? But it's not rocket science. That's the part that's interesting, Bootsy, about where we are. Like, it's an information age.
Right.
There's access to information,
So
but
true.
we still don't use it. Before there wasn't access. Before it was like secrets, and there still are secrets, but it's almost like you can't see the forest for the trees. It's right in front of you, but if you don't know where to look and what to look for, it becomes very difficult.
So look, so did it still feel like Baltimore to you?
Yeah, it still feels like Baltimore. Okay. It feels like, again, I think Baltimore compared to the DMV is easier to navigate. It's kind of for me, it's easy to kind of wrap your mind around, Right. All of the major cities are having a challenge with crime, right? And it's funny because everyone acts like it's a mystery, but it's not. I mean, we had a pandemic. You have many working class and middle class people suffering.
Right.
So if working class and middle class people are suffering, what's happening to low income people?
Right.
If middle class people have a cold, then poor people have pneumonia, right?
How about it?
So then what's happening in major cities? In tourist areas where you didn't see people get robbed, DC, Baltimore, New York, LA, Chicago, people are getting robbed. Why? Because people need the cash. You walking downtown with a Rolex on, buddy. You walking downtown with $30,000 worth of jewelry and people ain't eating. What do we think's going to happen?
Right.
Bootsy, I saw a friend of mine who's a friend of mine is he's a security guy. He does celebrity security. And so, in New York, they passed the deal where, you can carry your guns or whatever. That's kind of crazy. Like, you can actually, in New York, they've relaxed the requirements. The gun laws. And so he was like, oh, this is great. He said, now, you got a chance to fight off people trying to rob you. And I was like, from his perspective, former military, trained in hand-to-hand combat and weaponry, for him, yes. But for average people, in theory, it's like those people that feel, give the teachers guns. It's like, are you going to take a person who really is not a gun handler, somebody who's not really skilled in it, even a class? Yeah. People say, well, get training. Yeah, you can get training. You can get trained in karate, but does that mean you're going to stop somebody from beating you up? No. And so Bootsy, help me it sounded logical what he said. Okay, now you can somebody got a gun, you got a gun. But Bootsy, I don't have it in my heart to really kill nobody. I don't have it in my heart to really maim anybody. I'm not really trying to do all that. And I don't know how we react if it's going down like that. And is there any statistic that shows when two people have guns, it ends on the positive for the victim or the person who's about to get robbed? I don't know. I have a feeling the stats probably would be show something different. What's your take?
No, that's 100% true or whatever. And I think even with these gun laws, Supreme Court, wherever it is, I just thinking we're walking down a crazy road when, to me, it can be a good thing if more people have guns. Like, if more people have guns, only with the mentality of protecting themselves or waiting for the day to use it to protect themselves, we walking down a slippery road. So, it just to even hear that process lets you know that it's some real work to be done. I don't know about that one, because that's crazy for somebody to say that. Like, well, I got one so I can protect myself just in case. Like,
and then Bootsy,
I get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah, and I think sadly, to me, the fact that my friend is military, former military, the fact that my friend is in the field,
right?
I can't, like you said, Bootsy, I cannot. And again, I don't know. I'm not trained in it, but I can't believe that the formula goes: the more people have guns, the less crimes will be committed. I cannot think. And Bootsy, I can't even, And him being trained in it makes me even think even more. Like, I just have a feeling that can't. So you're at a concert, everybody got guns. I can't feel like, as a security person, you feel like that's a safer space for everybody.
Right. And it's interesting because these carry laws in these states are way more relaxed now. It's like, man, that's like something else to totally think about.
Yeah, like
and ghost guns, because we got to think about that too. We don't realize how easy it is to get one literally through the internet. Like, have we really thought about that?
And that's the other part, even about ghost guns, Bootsy. For the people, gun enthusiasts, a hard word for me to say. Okay, you like to hunt, you like guns, but why would ghost guns be a good idea for you?
Right.
Even if you're into guns, I don't. What is it? Is it selfishly because you just want to have? You think it's cool to have a ghost gun? I mean, how does it play? What about it when you're talking about? What is it? The Second Amendment, whatever the amendment is.
Right to bear arms.
What does that have to do with a gun that's undetectable? How does that make it better and safer?
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah, and then the other thing I think what we got to realize is, why do people think it's a good idea for an 18-year-old to have a assault rifle? And like, are you really going to hunt with assault? Like, I could see if it was a regular, I don't know, but a assault rifle to an 18-year-old, what else would he do with it? What would he be thinking to do with it? I don't understand. So speaking of that, of course, Roe versus Wade has fallen. And I think the interesting thing about these conversations that are frustrating that we talk about our show, that's a little different, is I think we go a little deeper than the surface. Absolutely.
It's not people. I'm against abortion. Okay, and then the women. When we have conversations these days, we don't really have conversations. We just have slogans
or debates, because it don't really be a conversation.
Yeah,
a conversation would be somebody's perspective, and we're trying to get an understanding of what we think. Most of the times, either you're on one side of the fence and you're arguing with the other person, and ain't nobody getting anything out of it.
Yeah, and so I think a lot of time when it comes to even like you heard a couple ministers say some things, and I just think it's interesting. Back to that, like a statement, but not really looking at the whole conversation. Like when guys to me get righteous, like especially guys, who've been in the situation, a young man, you maybe had to have an abortion or you didn't, or whatever. And then all of a sudden now at 50, you're Mr. Holier Than Thou. I mean, you're Mr. You're talking about it as if you're not really talking about the human element of it. You're talking about a theory and a judgment.
Well, speaking of a theory, why do you think it happened?
Why do you think?
Why do Marc Clarke think they overturned Roe versus Wade?
Oh yeah, well, that was the part about. That was a part about. Well, first of all, the powers that be have been trying to do this for 30 years. And that's the part again that we don't ever whatever that doesn't get talked about. During Trump's presidency is. Not only the Supreme Court, the conservative justices that were put in place.
Over 300. This man put in over 300 federal judges.
Right. And then the Supreme Court, was it 3 or 2 or 3, right?
3.
And then, and so, women, regardless of party, in this discussion, America is just weird in that I just saw in D.C. the latest election an increase in participation, and it was at 31%. And last year, the last time, it was 18%.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So I'm curious how many women participate, vote,
that's a great
let their
point.
voice be known on this issue.
Think about this here, though. Think about this here. And that's so true, because Mayor Bowser won, and she had 60,000 votes. In Ward 8 alone, it's over 100,000. In Ward 7, it's about 160. East of the river alone has 250,000 people in it. And Mayor Bowser won the entire election, having 60,000 votes. So that's the first thing. But I will say, I'm going to try to correct this. The one thing that I do think we could learn from what the Supreme Court did was they put it in the hands of the state and their voters. So, yes, it was overturned, but every state that is already taking the abortion back, you get to go to the election and vote for a candidate who is, against overturning Roe versus Wade. So I do think one, and I don't want to say silence or whatever, or one, Nick, is you still have an opportunity to change it. You know what I mean? Everybody in those states can show up and vote for the candidate that they believe is, or they know is supporting the right to abortion. So it's still, as bad as it seems, they still have power in these states. And it's up to the candidates to connect these stories and all that. Because, we're talking about people not voting. But the one thing about it is you do have an option in every one of those states to go to your state and local elections to know that these opportunities will be decided by the state. So, we got to find a better way to do that. So that is one thing, is that if you upset in Alabama, if you upset in Florida, go to the polls and vote for them. Vote them out.
Yeah, but they're not. So, that's the Americans. We're just weirdos.
But you know what? This might be the subject to make them want to go vote.
Well, and if that's the case, then Bootsy, how many times do you have to get? It's like being a parent, like people do not participate until they lose, right. And then they roar back. And then it's just, but it's almost, and that's what the powers that be know. They know that people are lazy, people aren't engaged, people aren't really, take something like this to finally get somebody off the couch. People are stuck in their, they're stuck in their politics as far as their party politics. But if you're a woman, again, if you have a cause that's near and dear to you and you don't vote for it, then what are you complaining about? What are you talking about? What are you outraged about? This wasn't a shocker. This wasn't a surprise. This is what's going to happen. And everything else that you care about, that you did not stop this court from being so conservative about, is going to fall too. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And now is not the time. The time was when you were putting people in office. And so that's the part. I mean, it's almost like, Boots, we talk about the same thing in the medical profession. And let's segue to that, since I'm not supposed to be that political now anymore. Medical profession, the same thing, Bootsy. You ain't supposed to be having no ice cream with chocolate fudge and marshmallow, Mr. Pre-diabetic, Mr. Hypertensive with your salty chips and popcorn every night. But people, the medical, they know people aren't, people do what they want to do.
Yep.
That's our joke about our dog, Gabby. She do what she want to do. Well, guess what? Americans do what they want to do. And so we can theorize, and then people get outraged. Are they really outraged? Are you that outraged? No.
Do you think what just happened will help drive more people to these midterm elections?
This is what I think, sadly. And Bootsy, you know how we do.
You don't sound so optimistic, Mark, but
Men are fronting. Men are fronting. Men.
Oh, man.
Men are... Bootsy, let me sing it like this. Men are fronting. Men are fronting. How about you? How about you? Men are feigning concern, but they really aren't all in. They're listening to their girlfriends. They're listening to their wives.
What if they got daughters, though, Mark?
Right. You're listening to your daughters. Like my daughter, it hit my daughters hard. That generation they're like shook because, right. I mean, this is crazy, but again, I think Americans, we're distracted. We're just really, are we just too fat and happy?
That could be
Are the poor even too fat now? Are we too poor? Are we just fat and happy, Bootsy?
No, I just think with this gas price, this inflation, people have more deeper concerns, and this kind of like falls down by the wayside. I do think they got a lot with it. There are a lot of parents this summer, including me, that you got to make decisions with your summer and your children that you've never had to make before. And when you got to prioritize food, travel, gas, summer vacation, summer camps, that may be down the line. And I do think that may have a lot to do with it as well, because there are a lot of parents like me who got a lot of stuff that needs my immediate attention.
Yeah, and that's the game, and so we don't participate, we don't make demands on our elected officials. We get bogged down. I was thinking, Bootsy, you remember when, and I remember when, what was it? About 2 years ago. First of all, the news is interesting how it all works. It's like they tee up. It's like the guiding the hand in magic tricks, right?
Right.
Wasn't it just 2 years ago, Bootsy, when all the news it was concern for the gas industry because the oil was so low that there was concern. But the part that was interesting about that is oil prices are low. The what's the oil container? Help me. I'm 56 now, Bootsy. What's the oil in? What's it come in? The price per
gallon?
No.
Barrel.
Oil, right. Remember, it was low. And the news kept saying it. So therefore the gas prices were low. Right? And I just remember thinking to myself, well, dang, if hey, that's not our problem. If gas prices are low, we good. Gas prices low. Gas prices low. If this keeps happening, blah, 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 blah. Gas prices low. Oh, but gas prices are so low, there's abundance of gas, and it's making it go even though the prices dip even lower.
Right.
Gas prices low. Then miraculously, Bootsy, now gas prices are higher than they've ever been. The conspiracy side of you has to say, wait a minute, 2 or 3 years of the oil industry hurting, now the industry's flossing.
Well, they got a good reason with this war.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. But the crazy thing is, and I would love to know your perspective is, do you think we'll ever see a day when the prices will go back down to what they were over a year ago?
There'll be a day, but right, the price has changed, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering, will this be the new norm, no matter what happens?
Well, and then that's why these stories of the president or whomever doing the tax thing, yeah, it's 18 cents. But again, people are locked in. Are they going to vote to get? Man, who gives a dang about 18 cents? 18 cents? Are you serious? It's $5.45. Man, but again, you never have those real conversations. We always get surface conversations. We don't really deep dive. You never hear anybody say that. Who cares? 18 cents, 20 cents. I don't care. If it's only going to be 20 cents, go ahead and make it $5.50. I don't care. You never hear anybody say that, right? You never no, everybody just, and then, well, hold on. Is there a chance the president's going to okay this price tax? Man.
This tax holiday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think all the way around, we are in an interesting place. And like you said, Bootsy, it feels like you feel like people are feeling the pinch with this stretching the dollar, right?
100%.
Doesn't it feel like it? I mean, there's been times when you feel like it, sometimes when you don't. I feel like I'm feeling it right now.
Oh no, I'm feeling it for real. like my son is 11 and he got 8 weeks out. I got to figure something out right now. You know what I mean?
And these are people, you have a job. So imagine the people that don't have a job.
Right.
Like you said, getting to work, getting to and fro, getting the kids to and fro.
Right.
Some people have camp, some people don't. some people are in college. I got 2 in college and 1 on the way.
Whew.
It's going to be 3 in college. One's going to be in medical school and 2 in college.
Boy, thank God you got a job, bro.
Right. We were just talking about, like you said, making decisions,
homie, and
having to make those decisions.
And I done made the genius idea of adopting a daughter. So trust me, and I've been feeling that. Now you're laughing. You're laughing.
So Bootsy,
the whole new deal.
We usually don't have a down show. So Bootsy, where are we? What do you think? You look into your master plan. Look into your secret ball, your magic. What is it called? Secret crystal ball.
Right, crystal ball.
A year from now, where we're going to be? What's the oil price going to be a year from now? Gas prices a year from now. What is the COVID situation going to be from now? And lastly, where are prices with the cryptocurrency, up or down? Go ahead, Bootsy.
So number one, cryptocurrency. That's being. I mean, man, like I never wanted to say that it was a Ponzi scheme, but it is looking a little shaky right now, and more people are a little bit open with calling it other things than versus the new currency. I've been looking at a lot of athletes have lost a lot of money taking their money in cryptocurrency. That has been like a thing. So, but cryptocurrency, that's going to be interesting. And, but the thing is, I always think, how would it go up or down? Like, how would it happen? And I think about that. The crypto thing, I just don't know. And it's more of them popping up now. So I don't know how, if we have more cryptocurrency, it helps the cryptocurrency market versus 1, 2, 3, or 4. You know what I mean? Like, we got American dollars. I can only imagine if we had if we were taking American dollars, Japanese dollars, Jamaican dollars, I just don't know how that's going to be. With the gas thing, I don't know. I think this may be the new norm. I really do. I think greed always wins. Follow the money. And the one thing about this situation is if they can find a way to make you feel comfortable about it, it's never going to go down. You know what I mean? One thing about America, they can rub your back and be having the knife in their hand at the same time. You just never, even with we're going back with COVID, we're not keeping the numbers no more. You know what I mean? The monkeypox is here. You just, at the end of the day, just be ready to adapt. Just know that evolution is really undefeated. And don't be afraid to change, because in this time right now, things are ever evolving. And you got to learn how to adapt.
He has spoken. Yeah, Bootsy has spoken.
Yeah.
That was good, Bootsy.
Think about this. We did 2 years of virtual everything. You think about that, though.
Right.
2 years of virtual everything. Virtual is the new norm. Virtual will never not be a part of what we're doing. We would not be doing this if it wasn't virtual, Mark.
That's true. I was just looking at a conference coming up, and like you said, Bootsy, I was a little shocked that I was excited because, like, oh, where's it going to be? Like you said, virtual like a mug. I was like, okay, virtual. Okay. Virtual is here to stay. Especially with them gas prices.
Hey, bro. Yeah, because it's here. Like, there will always be a virtual component, virtual option. DPR has had 3 all hands on deck situations. Pre-COVID, they all were in person. Post-COVID, it's all virtual.
Well, and Bootsy, I'm glad this is our first new way to enjoy the show every Wednesday. So you can enjoy the show anytime, but there's a new episode every Wednesday. And so thank you. Also, if you don't know, my first day, this is the Wednesday, whatever this date is, my first day if you're watching this on a not Wednesday, then obviously you missed it, but I'll be on Fox 45, 11:30 Eastern time every weekday. So today's my first day. If you're watching it later, yeah, every weekday catch me. Also, you can catch, the Marc and Bootsy Experience podcast That's the audio version. Wherever you get your podcasts, okay, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you don't see it, it's coming because it sometimes takes a couple episodes for it to populate. So again, that's what's going down. Bootsy, any final words as you wrap things up?
Congratulations, my brother. It's a great day. It's a great day for people who never give up on their dreams. It's a great day for people who stay passionate. It's a great day for people who are open-minded and open to change. And this is a real combination of that. And it's great to see that your fruits, you get to be here to see the harvest of all your fruits that you didn't even know was going to come in. So congratulations, because this is amazing, bro. And I'm excited to look at it tonight.
Thank you so much, sir. Bootsy Vegas. We'll see you guys when we see you. All right. If you have not subscribed to wherever you're hearing this, subscribe to it and keep telling people about it. And we're going to get bigger and better. We got fat guests next week. We just wanted to get our feet wet and say we still doing it. And thank everybody who've been riding with us. For those who just started riding with us, get on board. It's going to be a fun, exciting ride. And again, we got some big surprises, including Bootsy. Games. Yes. Now that we get a little financial infusion, some games for tickets, giveaways, and that Cash App is just right always around the corner. So, all right. All right, Bootsy, I see you.